If you haven't had music lessons in school, or you've just not looked at sheet music in the last 10 years, then it can be really quite confusing what everything means. For this introductory guide, I'll show you how to read musical notation and explain the logic behind it. At its core, sheet music tells you what to play and when to play it. For now, let's tackle when. Have you ever noticed a musician counting before they start playing? They're counting the beats and setting the speed they are playing at. Let's take Twinkle Twinkle Little Star as an example. I'll play it for you while showing the beats. There are two things to notice here. The first is that in this example, all the words have 2 beats and 2 syllables, with the exception of star only having 1 syllable, but still having 2 beats. Musicians group these beats into something called measures. Measures are a structured organizational system that divides the music into digestible sections, allowing for an easier time to read. They're like the spaces in a sentence to make words easier to read. Side note, did you know that there was actually a time before words had spaces between them? Anyways, getting back on track. So measures, or sometimes referred to as bars, are a regular repetitive structure that divide the entire piece of music up. A bar line is the thing that is doing the dividing, similar to how a space is dividing words in a sentence. Since musicians and composers want flexibility, the size of a measure can change. It can have as many beats as the composer deems are necessary. Now, the number of beats gets put at the front of the first measure, like this. In this example, there are 2 beats in a bar. Let's see how Twinkle Twinkle fits in. Now, just by counting the number of bars, we can measure the length of a piece of music. Now we can see where it comes from. Bars and measures literally measure the length of the music. Now that we have a system to organize beats, let's talk about notes. Music notes have 2 properties, a length and a pitch. Their length is determined by their shape. We start with an empty note head. This is the whole note. It has a length of 1. Half the length of a whole note by growing a stem, and we are left with a half note. You'll start to notice that the notes get more visual attributes the smaller we make them. Half the length of a half note, by filling in the note head, leaves us with a quarter note. You'll also notice that the note names are literally their lengths. Having the quarter note by adding a flag at the top of the stem gets us an 8th note. From here, the pattern repeats thusly. Add another flag and you'll get a 16th note, another and you'll get a 32nd note, and so on. When starting out, the smallest you'll see will be the 16th, but the pattern is easy to understand. So how do these notes relate to the beats? That's where the time signature comes back in. It tells you which note gets the beat. If we take another look at Twinkle Twinkle, by converting the single number into a fraction, we get 2/1, or 2 whole notes per bar. This, by the way, is a tie. It connects 2 notes together, telling the musician to hold the note for the combined length of all connected notes. Anyway, given this system, we can have whatever note we want as the beat. Want half notes as the beat? Start with a time signature of 1/2. Add another half to get 2/2.